Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to today's video. I know it's been a while, I haven't posted any videos so far. The reason being is I was preoccupied with a couple of stuff which I'll be talking about later in the video. But before that, talking about today's video. Well, I've been asked so many questions. The thing is, like, these questions have been repetitively being asked to me by different people. So that's when I decided, you know what, how about I make a video on all this question answer session so I can address all the questions that have been asked to me so that people don't have to bother asking the same questions again. So hence this video here. I have noted down a couple of questions that did come into my mind on my phone here, so that's what I'll be talking about now. Again, if I happen to miss any of the questions that you think that I haven't answered, just type it in the comments below and I will get back to you for sure, as if I know the answers to those questions. So that's what the plan is for today's video. Now, talking about the couple of things that I've been busy with. Well, first of all, I'm done with trucking.
Say what?
Yes. I'm gonna be no longer trucking. I sold the truck. That's it. The reason being is my previous company, that's the airline job, they called me and I am starting in the month of Jan. Yes, I am looking forward for this because it's been almost 2 years I haven't flown a plane. Exciting. A bit tensed, anxious. Let's see how it goes. They say it's like riding a bike. I will let you know if it is like riding a bike or not. But I'm looking forward to share all those experiences with you, my sim training, hopefully the flying part as well. That's what the plan is. We'll see how it goes. Now, the other thing was my mom and brother happened to visit me here in Toronto, so I was busy with that for almost a week. And my brother, he did manage to record some of those adventures that we had, and I have put the link to that video in the description below. If anyone is interested, please do check it out. Again, the video is in Malayalam, so interested, please click on the link in the description below. The last trip that I did in my truck was to a chicken farm to pick up some if you guess chicken, you're correct. Yes, to pick up some chickens, and I happened to record an interesting sight at the place. How about you guys take a look at it? Alright, getting to today's video, question answer session. Before I begin today's video, again, the one thing that I want to say is now I got my job starting in Jan, and not only that, I've been seeing so many ads for pilots, so that is a good thing. Aviation in Canada has been picking up slowly in the span of 2 years. Well, now is exactly when it started to pick up, so that's a good news for anyone who is planning to do the training in Canada. You know what, if you start your training right now, in the next 6 months, by the time you finish your training, you will be at the right spot, because I believe there's going to be a huge demand for pilots. There's going to be a massive shortage, and if you're at the right time, boom, you get the job pretty quick. So I would say this is the perfect time. Again, not quite sure, things can change. I don't know if another COVID shows up, 4th wave, 5th wave, things might change, but hopefully not. Alright, getting to all the questions that I did note on my phone. To begin with, first question. What is the requirement to be a pilot in Canada? Well, all what you need is a 12th pass. I believe to get your commercial license, you need to be 17 years or plus, so that shouldn't be a factor for most of them. 17 is the age. Apart from that, you need high school pass. That's all what matters. 12th pass with any subject, doesn't matter if you're physics, chemistry, maths, commerce, absolutely doesn't matter. As long as you have a 12th pass, that's all what's needed for a commercial license. Medical, People ask me, do I need to get my medical in my home country before I come to this country? Well, personally, I also, from India, I decided to get my medicals done, but the whole process literally took me a day, as opposed to the whole medical process here in Canada just takes about 3 hours or less, your first medical. Now, keep in mind, make sure you get a category 1 medical. Category 1 is for commercial, category 3 is good for private. But the thing is, like, you finish your private in like 4 months, and then now if you're working for your commercial, you need to do another set of medical. So probably best option to get is a category 1. Now again, it's depending upon you. If you question your medical condition, probably it's better to get medical done in your country by a TC approved examiner. TC is Transport Canada, that's responsible for the aviation in Canada. So there are TC approved doctors in different countries. So make sure you get it, get your medical done from a TC approved doctor. Again, it's not mandatory. It's up to you. If you want to get it done, that's good. If not, you can come here and get it done, which is going to be way quicker and easier. All right, this is the one question that I get the most. People ask me, which is the best flight school in Canada? Please suggest me a flight school. I've talked about this topic in my previous videos quite a bit. See, if you want to pick a flight school, it's completely depending upon you, right? What your priorities are, what your demands are, what is that you exactly need from a flight school. For example, if you're looking for a cheaper flight school, then you should probably look into provinces that have a cheaper living cost. Like Manitoba, let's say, has a cheaper living cost compared to Ontario or even BC, right? So if you want to reduce the cost, then you should probably be looking into these provinces. Now, if you want to live in big cities, you don't mind the cost, and just go for big cities like Toronto or Vancouver. There are so many flight schools around there which tend to be more expensive, probably $20,000-$30,000 more than the cheaper flight school. Now, if you have a family living somewhere in one of those provinces, and if you want to cut down your living cost, there you go, right? So it completely depends upon you. Another reason could be immigration. There are some provinces that support immigration, and immigration happens faster in those provinces. So if that's one of your priority, then look into those provinces. All right, please do your research, and because don't ask me, I don't know you, like I don't know what your priorities are, so it's very hard to answer those questions. To know more about that school, like let's say you shortlisted 4 or 5 schools, to know more about them, I would highly recommend you to find someone who is doing the training in that school at that point of time, because then they will be able to give you a better picture. Now, if you ask me about my flight school, I left my flight school about 4 to 5 years back, so I'm not sure what's going on there, right? So it's better to ask someone who is doing the training at that school presently, right? Get a better picture. Okay, do I need a degree to be a pilot? Well, like I said previously, all what you need is 12th pass. You don't need a degree. Degree is not mandatory. But now that being said, it's always good to have a degree. Situation like this, COVID, right? COVID happened, people lost their job. Now you don't have a degree to get another job, right? So it's always good to have a backup plan, right? So well, the advice that I have to give you is, now aviation is all about timing. So I would highly recommend, if anyone isn't coming into aviation, just do the training fast, get it done, get a job, step into the field of aviation as soon as possible, because all what matters here is seniority. As long as you get to a proper company as soon as possible with a less amount of steps, that is the best thing. Now, in airlines, it's all about seniority, right? You hit that airline, you get into that, then your life is relaxed. The more senior you get, the better schedule you can get, the better life you can get, right? So it's all about timing. Now, if someone, now talking about immigrants, like who's coming here on a study permit, wants to get a degree as well, what I would highly recommend is, do your aviation stuff, get a job, get your permanent residence, and once you get your permanent resident, then you can go get a degree. Because if you are a permanent resident, the tuition fees for a degree is substantially less compared to a temporary status, like if you're being a student or a worker. So that's another thing that you can keep in mind if you are interested in getting a degree or not. That being said, one of the biggest air carrier here in Canada, which is Air Canada, prefers people with a degree. It just prefers. It's not a requirement. It prefers. Could be various reasons. I think they think that people who have a degree have a broader mind, problem solving ability for them, I'm guessing. I don't know, could be, but again, it's not a requirement. It's up to you. If you want to get it, get it. Well, probably I would say having a degree would give you an advantage over another pilot who doesn't have a degree. Talking about Air Canada, there are no other companies here in Canada which I believe do prefer people with a degree. So it's completely up to you. If you want to take one, go ahead. Yes. So some people are confused with the licenses, how it goes. To get your to be a commercial pilot, you need first PPL, private pilot license. Then you need commercial CPL. Then you need a multi IFR, multi-engine instrument rating. That is to fly planes with 2 engines. Eventually, if you want to get into airlines or fly a plane with 2 engines, for sure, you need to get your multi IFR done. And then there's instruct rating. That's completely optional. If you want to do it, you can do it. If not, if you get another job, you don't have to shell out another $14,000 to get your instructor rating. 14 or 20. I'm not quite sure what the rate is these days, but it's up to you. And like I said, you know what, the cost of flight school goes up depending on the provinces. The more expensive the provinces, the expensive the flight training is. The most expensive flight training I think is in Ontario and Vancouver is what I believe. Some of them might cost up to $100,000. So make your decisions wisely. Okay, this is an interesting topic. A lot of people have been asking me, should I get an integrated ATPL or just integrated ATPL course, or should I just do the regular flight training? Well, let me tell you. Let me make it clear. I did a little bit of research on this. All this video that I've been making here is purely for people who want to do flight training in Canada. I don't know what country you're from. I don't know how the requirements are for those countries. So I'm going to talk about things that I know. If you're planning to do your flight training and stay here in Canada and work here, you absolutely do not have to do this fancy course called Integrated ATPL. And so what this Integrated ATPL is, they have a set syllabus, so you gotta check all those topics, and the training is paced by them. Right, so they're going to tell you what you need to do, when you need to do, what exams you need to clear. The other advantage of integrated ATPL is once you're done with 200 hours, you can get those ATPL exams done as well, which is 2 exams, SARN and SAMRA. Honestly, if you are planning to stay in Canada, you don't have to do this integrated ATPL. Just go for the self-paced program, self-paced CPL, so that you can do it according to how you like it. Like, let's say, tomorrow you're feeling sick, you don't want to do the training, don't do it. Right, once you do the regular self-paced commercial training, the thing is, like, you're not eligible to write your ATPL exams. There's absolutely no rush in writing your ATPL exams. You're only able to write it once you hit about 700 hours and get the license by 1500 hours, provided you meet the requirements as well. So honestly, I don't know, I think the integrated ATPL courses are a little more expensive, so I do not see a reason why you should do this course. Just go for the regular self-paced program. The other thing is, by the time you hit 700 hours, you have so much flying experience, and clearing these 2 exams are gonna be easy. So my advice, do not go for the integrated ATPL, just do the regular self-paced program. Okay, I know it sounds fancy, but trust me, you don't need to do it if you're planning to stay here in Canada. Absolutely not. Talking about the ATPL requirements, one of the important requirements, which again I mentioned in my previous video, is 25 hours of night cross country, which most of the people forget about it. They go all the way up to the airlines, and then they cannot upgrade to a captain because they don't have their ATPL because of this specific requirement, and they come back, rent a plane, and then fly around to get those 25 hours or the leftover hours. So please do make sure when you're doing your training that you hit all the requirements, so you do not have to come back later and spend another couple of thousands of dollars to get these requirements. Okay. Talking about instructor rating, so many people ask me, do I need to do instructor rating? Well, it's completely up to you. Now, let's say you finish a commercial and you multi-IFR and you have a job lined up. You absolutely do not have to do an instructor rating, because that's another $10,000-$14,000 that you're spending right now. If you have a job, might as well get the job, get paid for, right? Why do you want to do the instructor training? Now let's say if you're at this point where you finished a commercial and like not many jobs available, and but then there are instructor jobs, then probably might as well you want to do an instructor training. And probably there are flight school who says, you know what, do instructor training and we'll hire you as an instructor too. So probably then it's a good decision to do it, because the good thing about instructor training is you make quite a bit of hours, even though the pay is not the best, but still it's a good start. Talking about the pay, well, you know what, I'm planning to make another video, a descriptive video, where I'll be talking about the pay of different pilots as you progress, and the ways that you can progress, and what are the different types of airlines, the jobs, the companies available here in Canada. A more descriptive one, that's what my plan is. If you guys are interested, please do let me know in the comments below, so then I can make a video on that. Okay, what else? And again, common question, will I get a job after I finish my training? Well, you know what, I don't know what's going to happen, but like I said, I believe there's going to be a big demand coming soon, so pretty much anyone who completes your training should be able to get a job. But that being said, keep this thing in mind when you're doing your training. Be good to the people around you. Make sure you keep connections, because that's how pretty much you are able to get into or get to know about the jobs. References do play a big role here in Canada, not only for aviation but for any other job field. So make sure you keep good connections with the people around you. Okay, so again, talking about immigrant guys, now they come here to do their studies on a study permit. Now they get, after they're done with the studies, they get a work permit. Now on work permit, there are so many other jobs that you can do as a pilot, like instructor, flying for a charter company, being a skydive pilot, doing tour flights. All these jobs, you don't need to have a permanent resident. There are so many jobs out there that you can do with your work permit. Now that being said, now if you want to go into airlines, it is a mandatory to have your permanent resident. So the reason again is because airlines fly in and out of the country, and they prefer you to have a permanent resident. So there are so many jobs that you can get with a work permit. Another important question is the time frame. How much time, how long is it going to take for me to reach the airlines? Well, it is completely depending upon what your situation is, where you are, which province you're working in, what kind of job you have. For someone like me, when I started instructing was 2017, and I was able to hit airlines 2019, which is about 2.5 years. So I consider myself lucky, because usually at that point of time, 2.5 years is way too less. People used to spend, I don't know, three more than 3 years. So it all depends how soon you jump jobs to get to that position. Again, that being said, airlines require you to have a permanent resident, so you need to make sure by the time you need to have a permanent resident before you apply to the airline. So again, that's another factor that's gonna play a vital role in deciding how soon can you get into the airlines. So on an average, I would say it takes about anywhere between 3 to 5 years. Now that's based on the previous numbers. Now I don't know what the future is going to hold for us. We'll see. Most likely the numbers are going to reduce for sure, is what I think. Type rating. The good thing here in North America is the type rating is completely paid by the company for you. You don't even have to shell out a single penny for this whole process. The good thing is, now let's say the type rating of the entire training is being held somewhere in another city, from another city where you're not living in. They're going to pay you for the whole expenses, your flight tickets, your hotel stay, and on top of that, they pay you for the training. So everything is paid for you. You don't have to worry about anything at all. This is what happens in airlines. Now small companies, charter companies, let's say they are training you on a small plane like a QnA or a Navajo. Depending on the size of the plane, they make you sign a contract. Now Navajo is a smaller plane, they make you sign a contract about $6,000 to $8,000. Now QnA is a bigger plane, they make you sign a contract about $12,000. That's what I had to sign. So again, this is for just 1 year and happens to be prorated. Now what do I mean by prorated? Well, as time goes by, the amount reduces. Now the reason why they make you sign this contract is because they have invested so much time and money in training you, and they want to get back the money invested, right? So on average, what they say is about 1 year, if you work for them, then it's profitable for you and for them. Yeah, so that's why they make you sign a contract for almost 1 year. Now let's say after 6 months I decide to quit, so then my leftover bond money would be $6,000, which I'll be owing to the company. So this is how it works. Airlines do not make you sign a contract. The whole type rating is free. Now I've seen people who get type rated on the plane and then they quit the very next day. Things happen. So you don't have to worry about anything. There was another funny question that I've been asked is, will airlines hire bald pilots? Yes. Well, what matters is inside the head, not on top of the head. So airlines will hire bald pilots. Is age restriction? Are there age restrictions? Well, there's absolutely no age restrictions. I have seen people who start their flying career at the age of 40 and have made it to the airlines. As long as you pass your medicals and you have the requirements, it's all good. You can get a job. So it's never too late to start your aviation career. But like I've mentioned in my previous videos, you know, the money that you make initially is gonna be less. So if that doesn't really affect you, then not a problem at all. Pretty much I have covered the questions that I've noted down here. Now, like I said, if I haven't answered any of the questions that is there in your mind, please do type it in the comments below so I can get back to you on that. And again, I am planning to make another video where I can be more descriptive on how to progress once you're done with your training, and what to expect, what wages to expect, what are the different types of airlines, what are the different types of companies, just to give you a heads up. Now, if you guys are interested to see that video and how did I personally progress as well, I think I've talked about that, but probably I will be a little more descriptive on that. So that's what my plan is, to make another video. If you guys are interested to know that, please do hit the like button, share, and hit the subscribe button as well, and let me know in the comments below how did I do in this video, and if you want to know more. So I think that's about it. It's time to wind up this video. I think I've crossed 10-15 minutes, so that's good enough for this video. Alright guys, so until next time, take care.